X-Men. The X-Men are what happens when you take the awkward phase of puberty and crank it up to superpower levels. Founded by Professor Charles Xavier, a telepath with a dream and a really fancy wheelchair, the team was created to train young mutants in using their powers responsibly, because shooting laser beams out of your eyes tends to complicate high school. The original crew consisted of Cyclops, Laser Eyes, Marvel Girl, Psychic Powerhouse, Angel, Rich Guy with Wings, Beast, Brains and Brawn, and Iceman, Walking Snow Cone Machine. Their main mission: protect mutants and prove that people with genetic upgrades shouldn't be treated like walking sci-fi horror stories. Unfortunately, not everyone agreed, especially Magneto, a mutant supremacist with the ability to control metal and an impressive helmet collection. He led the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants because subtlety was clearly not his strong suit. Over time, the X-Men expanded their ranks, battled countless villains, and dealt with some seriously intense internal drama. One of the biggest shakeups was the Dark Phoenix saga, where Jean Grey went from friendly neighborhood telepath to galactic-level threat in record time. More recently, the X-Men set up shop on the mutant nation of Krakoa, where they finally had a little peace until, of course, everything went sideways again. Enter Orcus, a human supremacist group that had way too much free time and a serious anti-mutant agenda. The X-Men fought them off, suffering major losses but proving once again that nothing keeps them down for long. Post-Orcus, Cyclops formed a new team in Alaska because why not? Setting up headquarters in what used to be a Sentinel factory. As usual, the X-Men remain committed to their mission of peaceful coexistence, despite the world treating them like a combination of rock stars and public enemies. Their legacy continues to inspire mutants and humans alike, though let's be real, they could probably use a vacation at this point. Fantastic Four. Reed Richards, the world's biggest science nerd, decided that testing a highly experimental, probably dangerous spaceship was a good idea. Naturally, he dragged his girlfriend, Susan Storm, her hot-headed brother Johnny, and his grumpy best friend Ben Grimm along for the ride. Predictably, things went sideways when cosmic radiation zapped them, leaving them with superpowers and a very awkward family dynamic. Reed became a human rubber band. Johnny turned into a literal hothead. Sue could disappear and make force fields. And Ben? Well, he got the short end of the stick, becoming a walking, talking pile of orange bricks. Deciding to put their weird new powers to good use, they became the Fantastic Four, setting up shop in the Baxter Building and immediately attracting trouble, from the Mole Man's subterranean tantrums to shape-shifting Skrulls looking for a turf war. Their biggest headache, however, was Dr. Doom, a guy with an ego bigger than Reed's brain and a grudge that just wouldn't quit. Despite constant superheroic shenanigans, the team also had personal lives, with Reed and Sue getting hitched and having superpowered kids, Franklin and Valeria, who somehow ended up smarter than their dad. At one point, Ben briefly turned back into a normal human, only to rock out again later. They got stranded on Battleworld, and Reed managed to accidentally teleport their headquarters a year into the future. Eventually, they patched things up, reunited, and went right back to their usual routine of saving the world and bickering like a sitcom family. Oh, and there was a whole thing with an evil AI app named MetaMind trying to take over people's phones, because even superheroes have to deal with tech support nightmares. But in the end, Mr. Fantastic out-nerded the AI, saved the day, and proved once again that science always wins. Guardians of the Galaxy. The Guardians of the Galaxy are basically the universe's most dysfunctional yet lovable band of space adventurers. Originally a ragtag group of outlaws, they accidentally found themselves playing hero when they saved Xandar from the temper tantrum-throwing Ronan the Accuser in 2014. Led by the ever-charismatic Star-Lord, who insists on being called that, even though no one actually does. The original team consisted of Gamora, deadliest woman in the galaxy, Rocket, talking raccoon with an attitude, Groot, tree with a limited vocabulary, and Drax the Destroyer, who takes everything way too literally. Despite being recognized by the Nova Empire, their knack for annoying people got them into trouble with the Sovereign after Rocket. Being Rocket couldn't resist stealing from them. This led to a bit of a kerfuffle, and along the way they added Mantis, adorable yet socially awkward, Nebula, angry cyborg with family issues, and Yondu Udanta, blue dude with a cool whistle-controlled arrow, to their ranks. Sadly, Yondu didn't make it, proving that good guys sometimes do finish last. In 2018, they joined forces with the Avengers to stop Thanos, but unfortunately their winging it approach didn't quite work, and half the universe turned into cosmic dust. The Guardians were essentially out of business, with only Rocket and Nebula left to carry the torch. Thankfully, the Avengers pulled a time travel magic trick in 2023, bringing most of them back, except Gamora, who stayed sacrificed but was replaced by an alternate timeline version who wasn't interested in Peter Quill's mixtapes. After a brief stint with Thor, who turned their ship into a chaos zone, the Guardians eventually settled down on nowhere, adding a talking dog named Cosmo to the team. They even kidnapped Kevin Bacon for Christmas because, well, why not? In 2026, Adam Warlock crashed the party and nearly took Rocket out, leading to a dramatic showdown with the High Evolutionary, who had serious playing God issues. After liberating a bunch of test subjects, the team split up, with Rocket taking over as the new leader, joined by Groot, Cosmo, Kraglin, and some fresh recruits, including a fuzzy little creature named Blurp. And thus, the galaxy's most unlikely heroes continue their adventures, still saving the universe but mostly just causing intergalactic mayhem along the way. Avengers. The Avengers are basically the superhero version of a prestigious Ivy League club, except with more punching and less student debt. This elite squad of extraordinary individuals, each with their own weirdly specific talents, came together to protect Earth from all things nasty, both homegrown and extraterrestrial. Their main gig? Keeping the world safe and looking ridiculously cool while doing it. The team's origin story is classic comic book chaos. Loki, the Asgardian god of mischief and professional troublemaker, decided it would be fun to manipulate the Hulk into smashing up a railway line. The Hulk's buddy, Rick Jones, tried to call for backup via the Fantastic Four, but Loki intercepted the message and thought, let's make this more interesting. Instead of just summoning Thor, he accidentally roped in Iron Man, Ant-Man, and the Wasp, because, superhero communication channels are always a bit messy. Thor quickly called Loki out on his nonsense, and the gang decided they might as well make their team official. The Wasp, clearly the branding genius of the group, suggested the name Avengers, because Superhero Smash Squad was apparently too on the nose. The Avengers soon set up shop in Tony Stark's Manhattan mansion, because of course they did. Billionaires always have extra real estate. Stark, being the team's unofficial sugar daddy, funded their heroic escapades through the Maria Stark Foundation. He even threw in his loyal butler, Edwin Jarvis, to keep things tidy. Over the years, the team faced an exhausting lineup of bad guys, including the Space Phantom, the Red Skull, who really needed a better skincare routine, and Onslaught. When they weren't busy saving the world, they occasionally teamed up with the Fantastic Four and the X-Men, because even superheroes need networking opportunities. The Avengers roster changed more frequently than a reality TV cast, with members coming and going like guests at an all-you-can-eat buffet. The original lineup featured Iron Man, Thor, Hulk, Ant-Man, and the Wasp, but Captain America eventually waltzed in and became the ultimate team leader. Other notable recruits included Hawkeye, Robin Hood but cooler, Black Panther, a literal king, Scarlet Witch, who should come with a warning label, Quicksilver, always in a hurry, and Vision, the ultimate AI boyfriend. In alternate realities, the team had even wilder transformations, like when Ultron wiped out humanity and forced the Avengers to go camping in the Savage Land, because nothing screams Avengers Assemble like running away to a prehistoric jungle. X-Force. The origins of X-Force date back to when the New Mutants, a young team of mutants, realized they needed to up their game and become more like a mutant special ops unit. Basically, the X-Men's edgy, leather-clad cousins. Enter Cable, a mysterious, cybernetically enhanced time traveler with more baggage than an airport terminal. Cable took them under his wing, training them in his aggressive punch-first, ask questions never philosophy. The original squad consisted of Cannonball, Boom Boom, Warpath, Shatterstar, and Feral, and their early days were spent taking down mutant terrorists. Their proactive, violent methods didn't always sit well with the X-Men, leading to a lot of awkward family reunions. One of their earliest and most infamous battles was against the Mutant Liberation Front, MLF, a mutant terrorist group led by Strife, who happened to be Cable's evil clone because comic books. X-Force also found itself in the crosshairs of the Hellfire Club, a group of snooty mutant aristocrats who spent most of their time sipping wine and plotting world domination. Their leader, Sebastian Shaw, saw X-Force as a problem, which is superhero code for they punched his people in the face too many times. Over time, X-Force took on a rotating lineup of members, disbanding and reforming as frequently as a 90s boy band. At one point, Cyclops assembled a new version of the team to hunt down potential threats to mutants, because when in doubt, Cyclops' solution is always more teams. Eventually, Cable returned, bringing with him his ability to see the future and a generally grim attitude. He led X-Force on high-stakes missions against heavy hitters like Apocalypse and the mutant hunting purifiers. Recently, X-Force has rebranded as Krakoa's intelligence agency, blending espionage with mutant nationalism. This new version operates with an actual sense of legitimacy, though they're still not above some morally questionable tactics. Despite their history of controversy, X-Force remains the mutant world's best defense, taking extreme measures to protect their people and ensure that the future of mutant kind isn't completely doomed. Well, more doomed than usual. Inhumans. Once upon a time, the Kree decided it would be a great idea to play mad scientist with early humans, resulting in a bunch of superpowered folks known as the Inhumans. Their powers come from exposure to the Terrigen Mist, which is basically a cosmic version of puberty. Either you get cool abilities, or things get really weird. They set up shop in Adelan, first on Earth, then on the moon, because why settle for regular real estate when you can be extra? Led by Black Bolt, who could literally shatter mountains with a whisper, the Inhuman royal family included Medusa, queen with super hair, Karnak, martial artist with anger issues, Gorgon, hooved powerhouse, and Crystal, elemental control in Johnny Storm's X. Unfortunately, their history is as chaotic as a soap opera. Between Kree meddling, family drama, and power struggles, they couldn't catch a break. The Terrigen Cloud, meant to help them, ended up causing a crisis for mutants, leading to a bit of an awkward standoff with the X-Men. Then there was the Silent War, Inhumanity, and the whole Death of X debacle, proving that having cool powers doesn't mean your life is easy. Despite being constantly caught in intergalactic messes, the Inhumans have had their moments of glory, sometimes as allies, sometimes as frenemies to the Avengers, Fantastic Four, and X-Men. Whether they're ruling the moon or just trying to avoid another royal scandal, one thing's for sure: life as an Inhuman is never boring. Defenders. The Defenders, a team of superheroes that's as unconventional as a raccoon wielding a machine gun, were first assembled to protect Earth from the Undying Ones. A bunch of extra-dimensional demonic party crashers, Sorcerer Supreme Doctor Strange, Prince Namor, and the Hulk joined forces, probably reluctantly, to stop this threat. They later roped in Valkyrie and Nighthawk to prevent a mad scientist named Yandroth from unleashing the Omegatron Doomsday device, because apparently, naming things ominously is a villain requirement. Unlike your average superhero team, the Defenders operated with about as much structure as a game of pickup basketball. No formal charter, no fixed HQ, and members who often disagreed on, well, everything. Yet, they somehow managed to take on big baddies like Dormammu, Nebulon the Titan, and a gang called the Headmen, who sound like they should be a weird rock band. Eventually, a TV documentary blew their cover because, let's face it, it's hard to keep a low profile when you're fighting intergalactic menaces. At one point, Doctor Strange, Hulk, Namor, and Silver Surfer reunited to battle Yandroth again. However, because bad guys don't just lose and go away, he cursed them, forcing them to abandon their teammates and form the Order, a group determined to bring world peace, whether the world liked it or not. Thankfully, the curse was broken, and the Defenders came back to help Atlantis battle yet another serpent-related crisis. Seriously, what is it with Atlantis and serpents? Doctor Strange later rebooted the team, as all superhero teams inevitably are, to investigate a new reality-threatening menace. This time, he recruited fresh faces like Blue Marvel, America Chavez, Tyalo, and Tigra. They traveled across dimensions, from the 6th cosmos to the 4th, meeting cosmic entities and navigating magical realms while probably wishing they'd packed a cosmic travel guide. Ultimately, they discovered a mysterious force called the Enigma, which threatened all of reality. Because what's a day in the life of the Defenders without an existential crisis? Eternals. The Eternals are basically the universe's overachieving babysitters. Designed by the Celestials, who make regular gods look like interns, these synthetic beings were sent to various planets to make sure intelligent life didn't completely mess things up. Their main job? Stop the Deviants, a bunch of monstrous troublemakers, from causing too much chaos and help civilizations evolve. Because cosmic natural selection is apparently a thing. Programmed by the Prime Celestial, Arashem, aka the big boss of space, the Eternals got shipped off to different planets like cosmic exchange students. Their memories were conveniently wiped after every mission, ensuring they didn't get too emotionally attached. They arrived on Earth back in the Stone Age, which must have been quite the culture shock. Over time, they subtly influenced humanity's progress, occasionally inspiring myths, legends, and probably some really weird conspiracy theories. However, they had strict orders not to meddle in human conflicts unless deviants were involved, which means they basically sat out all of history's biggest disasters. Thanks for nothing, guys. After the blip, because nothing says surprise comeback like half the universe unsnapping back into existence, the Eternals had a bit of a crisis when they realized the emergence of a new Celestial would mean Earth's total destruction. Awkward. Unlike humans, Eternals don't age, can regenerate indefinitely, and have cosmic energy running through them like a never-ending battery pack. Each one has their own unique powers, from shooting lasers to manipulating matter, which honestly sounds like the ultimate party trick set. However, draining too much of their cosmic energy could shut them down, kind of like running out of Wi-Fi at a crucial moment. In alternate universes, things got even weirder. At one point, Kingo took over as the new Prime Eternal, while Agatha Harkness, everyone's favorite witchy neighbor, decided to go full villain mode and drained Tiamut's power, effectively taking him out of the game. Their long and complicated history continues to shape their relationships, proving that even space gods have drama.